Voters in the Central African Republic go to the polls on Sunday in nationwide elections. They'll be casting ballots for president and for lawmakers at all levels. The country is still recovering from civil wars over a decade ago. At one point, more than a fifth of the population fled their homes. Today, the Central African Republic remains one of the world's poorest nations. Incumbent President Faustin Georges Touadéra has pledged to restore order. After altering the constitution, he's seeking a third term. Some opposition parties are boycotting the vote.
Clear jubilation on show in Bangui, a celebration of the launch of the electoral battle. Voting at levels in the Central African Republic. Municipal, regional, legislative, and the big prize of the presidency. The elections are a major challenge for the country, still plagued by instability.
I would ask you to take a look at the situation in 2016 when I took office. There was no state authority throughout the country. Here in Bangui, there were only internally displaced people around the airport, in mosques, in churches, in schools. What's the situation today, 10 years on? We see a country that is gradually recovering, that is raising its head. Because, you see, some time ago, the press was talking about the Central African Republic as a failed state, as a country on the brink of genocide.
But President Touadéra is up against opposition. Foremost among his opponents is Anissé Georges Dologele. Dologele had to give up his French passport as the Central African Constitution doesn't allow candidates with dual nationality to run for the office of the president. Why did you relinquish your French nationality? Is it a thirst for power or what? If you lose these elections, would you regret having relinquished your French nationality?
No, because I'm going to win these elections. I renounced my French nationality to run against the incumbent president. Do you see the difficulty? It means that I love my country. It means that I want to save my country. I'm giving up something that brings me nothing but advantages in order to face difficulties.
As the various candidates jockey for position, it is the people of the Central African Republic who have the final say when they cast their votes.
I already have my voter card, which I will use to vote for the person who will bring us peace.
It's our duty to take precautions to vote in order to have peace and democracy in our country and to prove to the world that we are ready to accept democracy. It's a civic duty for all Central Africans to participate in these elections.
Whoever wins this election, we no longer want the sound of gunfire. We just want peace and stability in our country.
As Central Africans are preparing to go to the polls on the 28th of December 2025 to vote for a new president who is going to handle the future of this country for the next 7 years, the country is still facing some few security challenges.
We've made progress from where we were to where we are today. However, there's still a long way to go. And that's what I'm calling for. I'm asking the Central African people to give me another opportunity to continue working with them, to continue serving them.
But with questions hanging over the outcome of the election, such as poverty, lack of opportunity, and insecurity, the opposition may yet be in with a chance.
Well, Mudge is Central Africa Director at Human Rights Watch and joins us from New York. Welcome back to DW. The president changed the constitution to run again. Some are boycotting the vote. But all in all, has the election campaign been free and fair?
You could say, all in all, generally speaking, this has been a free and fair election. That's not to say that everything has gone perfectly. To your point just now, in 2023, there was a very contentious constitutional referendum, which has now enabled President Touadéra to run indefinitely. Also, the two candidates that you alluded to in your report, Dondra and Dologele, they had numerous restrictions placed upon them before they were allowed to start campaigning. So we are in a pretty good place right now in the Central African Republic, electorally speaking. These elections, we do anticipate for tomorrow for them to be broadly free and fair. But this is not to say that this has been a completely free and fair process leading up to today.
And it's interesting to see the president run on a record of restoring stability. How secure is the country?
Look, you got to remember where the country was in 2013 and where we are today. Objectively speaking, the country is much more secure than it used to be. Let us not forget, in 2021, the last iteration of an election, 2020, December 2020, there were rebels literally at the doors of Bangui. And the situation has changed. It's changed for a number of reasons. The bilateral agreements that he's made with Russia and Rwanda, the UN peacekeeping course, but probably most importantly are these peace deals that he's signed recently with three main rebel groups over the last few months. And the big question now is whether these peace deals are going to actually hold. But to your point, the country is more stable now than it has certainly been since December 2012.
Okay, is that something that worries people, or is the economy the main issue? It's a very poor country.
It's one of the poorest countries in the world, and these things are absolutely tied together. Yes, first and foremost is security. You can't even have these conversations about the economy unless the country's secure. And everyone, I was just in Bangui a few weeks ago, everyone that we're talking to is saying the big question is, are these peace deals going to hold? After that, to your point, this is absolutely an impoverished country. Every index, every development index, the Central African Republic always ranks in the last few countries. And you do have a president who is trying everything he possibly can to try to generate some type of investment, some type of interest and growth in this country. But none of that is going to come without a meaningful sense of security. And so that is going to be, Touadéra's going to win. He will win this election. My prediction is that he wins it outright tomorrow, and there's not even a runoff. But the big question for Touadéra in his next term, his next mandate, is going to be, is he going to actually make gains on that security? Can he make it hold?
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your analysis. Mudge, Central Africa Director at Human Rights Watch. Thank you for being on DW again.
Thank you.